Om Shanti. So we all celebrated Deepavali yesterday, and I also want to draw your attention to what Deepavali teaches us, which is also what Baba is reminding us today. And you know, there is this brother who was yesterday asking me, Didi, tell me something that I should take away today from this meeting. So I was just sharing with him that you see that these days many people choose to light candles, or they put artificial lights and this and that, electric lights. But Deepavali in India was always celebrated with that deep being refilled with oil all the time. And I remember that on the night of Deepavali, when we were children, we had this duty, to keep checking which diya has run out of oil, and then you go and refill it very slowly. And that refilling is also an art, because you have to be very slow and steady and refill it. And so Deepavali teaches us that the light shines when it is constantly refilled. So the light of the soul also, the spiritual enlightenment or state of spiritual awareness, is also sustained with regular study and remembrance. So Baba told us, I think it was the Murli of third, and Baba said in that Murli that when the oil of knowledge and the wick of yoga are fine, the lamp of happiness will then remain alight. So there is the wick of yoga and oil of knowledge. So Baba says that regular study, you have to keep refilling the oil of knowledge and that wick of yoga. So Baba's love in your heart, Baba's remembrance has to be there constantly. And only then can there be the spiritual awareness all the time. And there is a very beautiful saying, a day is a microcosm of your life. If something cannot find a place in your day, it cannot find place in your life. So if Gyan and Yog, which are the main ingredients for soul consciousness, if they are missing, and Baba today also uses this very beautiful expression that people in the world, they have locked intellects because the locks of knowledge and yoga are closed. So, they don't have the key of knowledge and yoga to open the lock of their intellect. And many people think that if someone doesn't have the oil or the wick to light the diya in Diwali, then you should donate it to them. Yes, so it's not about physical Deepavali. It's about this donation that we need to make of this Gyan and Yog, which is actually opening the locks of our intellect. And then Baba says that, and it would be so unfortunate if we have the wick and the oil and we don't use it or we don't refill it. And Baba says the oil is the knowledge. So daily study. And today Baba says two things about study. So one thing Baba says in the Murli is, there has to be the faith that the Father is teaching us, Therefore, you should be very regular. So, I think the two values of a student are, first, the basic values are regularity and punctuality. So Baba says, you cannot compromise on that when Baba is teaching you. So I don't know how we came to this place where we don't value regularity and punctuality. I remember when we were in school, so they wouldn't allow you if you're 1 minute late, right? The gate used to close. And then the second thing is, we dreaded not going to school one day because we had this awareness that the amount of study we missed in that one day had to be covered the next day, and that would become humongous. So we didn't want to, even if I remember, even if I was not well and I was asked to stay back, I would only worry about how much of this study would be covered and then how much I will have to cover on my own, and then I have to go in the evening and talk to my friend and get all the notes, and it was so cumbersome that I thought attending school was better. So Baba says this regularity. Now, do we understand that this is the study that God is teaching for us to become a deity, and we cannot miss one day of study. The teacher knows what he is teaching, why he is teaching, so he never misses. The school is never closed, so we also cannot miss. So Murli class, everyday Murli is very, very important. Manthan comes next. Murli comes first. So everyday Murli has to be studied very diligently. So regularity. And then Baba today says something very interesting. Baba says that this study is such that you can sit in class and study it even when you are unwell. You cannot make excuses here. And you see that, I remember that when this whole COVID thing came, and after 6 months or so, so somebody asked, so these, your centers must be closed now, and then what about all that Murli and everyday reading? So they were not aware of what happens here very much. And then they asked me this, so I said, we went online. So I said, okay, ye bhi online ho raha hai. So I said, see, God is teaching, and he makes sure we don't miss the study, and he knows what he is teaching for. So even when, and I remember in this whole episode which happened in the last 2 years, there was not a single day when we didn't receive the Murli or the classes. And it was always conducted very well. Why? Because Baba says that I know what I'm teaching and what is the relevance of my study. So I make sure children get it every day. And there can be no excuse, with changing times. There are so many ways in which we can connect with knowledge. And Murli is available on so many platforms, and then there is so much of explanation and everything given, so that nobody can say that I don't have access to Baba's study. So there is no excuse, Baba says. And even if you're unwell, nobody can say that my ears were not working, or I could not. Even if the ears are not working, your eyes are working, so you can see, read, or one thing is working, so you can at least ask someone to read it out to you. And Baba says, you must pay attention to the study. And I remember there was this very old woman, and she used to come to the center when I was new in Gyan. And she must have been 92 or something. And every day, she used to come to the center, and she, with great difficulty, she used to get out of the car and then walk very slowly to the class and come and sit and listen to the Murli, and then she would go. And then I used to think, oh, why does this lady just tire herself? Because I was very new, I didn't understand the importance of study. And then, later there was an exam. So just like we have quiz online these days, so there was an exam where we were given questions related to the Murli and we had to answer them. So this lady, I came to know she cannot read. So she cannot read Hindi or any alphabet, she couldn't read. So she got her daughter-in-law with her, and the daughter-in-law read the questions for her, and she gave the answer, and the daughter-in-law wrote. So this way she wrote the exam also, and then she got 10 out of 10. So this is why Baba says you cannot make an excuse. So you see that the child who understands the importance of the study doesn't ever make an excuse. So there is no excuse why we miss the Murli or the Amrit Vela. So Baba says you have to understand how important study is, how important understanding what Baba is saying is. So never miss the study. And then today Baba talks about seva. So Baba says that, so let me read out the question for you first. Baba says, what method does the Father show each of you children so that you can make your fortune elevated? So underline this elevated fortune. So Baba is today specifying what is it that doesn't allow us to make our fortune elevated, and what is it that if we paid attention to, we can make our fortune elevated. So first thing Baba says, if you want to make your fortune elevated, remove all the dirty, bad habits from within you. Yes. So we have gone over this previously also, and habits have a way of manifesting themselves. And if I have a habit within me, I cannot make sure it will not come into action. And if I have a bad, dirty habit, it will come up at some time or the other. So Baba says, every soul should know what bad habits they have. And what is it that we mean by bad habits? Bad habits means the habits which we will not have in Satyug. So any habit that doesn't suit a deity is a bad habit. And Baba says you must take care that there are no bad, dirty habits in you. Because, and how do we finish these dirty habits? So, you know that जो कर्म हम बार बार करेंगे वो संस्कार बनेगा. So how our habits are formed? So there is this loop, being, doing and becoming. So being, doing and becoming. So whenever you are in body consciousness, being, the being is body conscious, then the doing is body conscious, and then the bad habit is created. And how do you change the bad habit? You start changing your consciousness of who you are. So first thing is you work on the being, because many people will tell you that you need to change what you do, but if you don't change the being, the consciousness of who you are, then you cannot change the doing. That's not possible. And then the habit can't go away, because whatever you do repeated number of times becomes a habit. So, so Baba today tells two things in the Murli, in the beginning of the Murli. Baba says, A, you always remember you are the child of the Almighty. So, when you remember your parent, you remember who you are. So don't look at yourself as an ordinary human being. So I have this a problem with this word normal. People use this word normal to perpetuate ordinariness. So you don't want to, you just don't want to step into your greatness, and you use this word normal all the time. I want to be a normal human being, normal life, normal this, normal that. But we are not normal, we are super normal. We are we are God's children, so we don't have to be normal. So Baba says, you just have to realize whose child you are, and also realize your aim. So, two things that if you keep in your awareness, who you belong to and what you're becoming. So, what is your aim regarding the future? So, if you remember you want to be a deity, and you remember you belong to the Almighty, and then in this awareness, so again, you keep refilling this knowledge, this awareness all the time, that I am God's child and my aim is to become a deity. You keep refilling this oil of knowledge. Then Baba says, in this way, you can change what you are doing with constant awareness all day. And I always give this example, and I had this habit of, when bhog was given to me. So, when I went to the center, they gave me a packet of bundi. So it was sweet bundi, and they gave me that packet as bhog. And I had this habit that I ate it then and there. So, I just tore the packet and I started eating. And then somebody pointed out that, if and then I had to leave, so I was eating and then walking. And they said, just imagine a deity tore the packet of bundi and then they're eating and walking. Does it look good? So, so then I realized that, okay, it's not like it's something very huge, but it still doesn't suit a deity. And then I started understanding that we have so many habits that if we check who we are going to become, it doesn't suit our aim or it doesn't suit who we belong to, then we have to work on it. And Baba says, if you constantly change your awareness of who you are, then you will be able to work on what you're doing and you will be able to change those habits. And I have seen that even regarding Amrit Vela, in the initial days of practice, it helped me to think that when I was sleeping at night, I used to think, even animals have the sensibility to wake up in time. Why can't you wake up in time? So the animal kingdom is more self-aware than you. So and you're God's child. Why can't you wake up? So I used to just remind myself that I am more powerful than nature, and I'm more powerful. I'm the child of the Almighty. And it helped me get up in the morning. And slowly, gradually, it became such a big habit. So Baba says that you have to change your bad habits. And if you don't make effort to change it, then habits will deceive you. Habits will deceive you, and habits will make you lose your fortune. Habits will bring shame to you. So there are many habits which bring shame to you many times, and then Baba says that you might lose your elevated fortune because of your habits. And the second thing that Baba says is to tell lies and get angry are very bad habits. So if you have the habit of lying, have you seen that lying is a habit? So sometimes people are in the metro and somebody asks them, "Where are you?" Say, "I have reached CP. I have reached CP." They are two stations, before Connaught Place, but they will say, "I have reached Connaught Place." Why? Because why can't you say I'm two stations behind? So it's a habit. So you want to tell the other person I'll be on time, but if you can tell them that I will reach in 15 minutes, why can't you tell them I'll reach in half an hour? And anyways, they will wait for you for half an hour, and then after 15 minutes, they'll not send you good vibrations. So this lying is a habit, and we lie at very small things. There are many people who lie about everything. Their life is a big lie. So, and you lie about the degree you have, you lie about the study you studied, you lie about your past, you lie about your practices, you lie about your present engagements, you lie about everything. And I know people who lie about everything in their life. And Baba says that lying is a very big habit and bad habit. And just think about it, that in the system there are lie detectors. So a lie has such great impact on the brain and body that it can be detected by a machine. So obviously lying is doing something to you which is very, very detectable and very, very discernible. So it's not small to lie. And anybody who lies cannot have a clear conscience. And you cannot meditate if you lie about things. So an active conscience means it's the little things which show who you are. So very little things also. I've seen that people lie for no reason. Like you ask them, did you pick this up? Did you keep it somewhere? No, I didn't see it. And it's harmless. Nobody is going to tell you anything if you said, I just picked this and kept it there. But you're so scared that somebody will tell you, why did you do this, that you just lie. And lying without reason. And this is a habit. And this habit is indicative that you don't have a clear conscience. And Baba says, check for yourself, because this Murli is for me. It's not for somebody else. So if I have a habit of lying, I need to check and change that. And remember Baba's Shrimat, that you don't have to lie. And then whenever there is an urge to lie, because what does habit do? Habit brings an urge. So try telling the truth and see that the world doesn't fall apart if you tell the truth. Okay, so Baba says, don't live with lies. Don't live your life like a lie. And getting angry are very bad habits, because whenever you get angry, you lose your spiritual power, physical energy for nothing. For a scene in drama which will repeat every 5,000 years, you are you're just wasting your thought and energy. So Baba says, don't do that. So Baba says, remove dirty habits. To tell lies and get angry are very bad habits. Have a keen interest in doing service. So there is also this habit of not doing service. This seva, there is this sanskar which forbids you from doing seva. So this sanskar that stops you from doing seva. And that sanskar is born out of ego and attachment. So, ego, मैं क्यों? Why should I? So you can, but you don't want to. It's ego. I won't. So but the work needs to be done. And Baba today says in the Murli, you have to serve the one who feeds you. So Baba is making sure we are well fed for 21 births. We have everything for 21 births, and we have to do seva. It's not optional. If we want to become a deity, then seva is not optional. And Baba says, deal with the sanskars of selfishness and greed and ego and attachment that stops you from doing seva. And Baba says, you have to do seva. And why seva? Because I have told this many times, happiness is the product of good karma. And today Baba tells us something very important. It's a great spiritual law. Seva and enthusiasm are related. Yes, so you see, the whole world today is suffering from this illness called lack of enthusiasm. So, hopelessness, depression, this thing is coming up because there is no enthusiasm and zeal in life. And what can bring back zeal in life? It's good wishes that you earn from seva. It brings zeal into your life. It brings enthusiasm. So Baba says, happiness is the product of good karma. So happiness, enthusiasm, interest, in being interested in life, all these things come when you earn blessings from seva. And I will read out, there are many things that Baba says. First thing is, by remaining engaged in doing service, you children will have a lot of enthusiasm. And then if you kept yourself engaged in doing service, you wouldn't forget the pilgrimage of remembrance. So seva is also a very easy way to remember Baba. And there is this very beautiful saying, jahan hamara dhan hoga, wahan hamara man hoga. So, wherever, if you have contributed your money into seva, you will remember Baba also. Because where your money lies, your heart also goes there. And if you're doing physical seva, yes, so when we are here and we are cleaning Baba's house and cooking, so obviously we will remember the one for whom we are doing seva. And then if somebody is away from the center and they're contributing financially, then obviously where the money goes, the heart also goes. So then remembrance will not be difficult because the heart will go where the money flows. So Baba says this is the benefit of seva. And then you would stay in remembrance yourselves, and you would also remind others to remember Baba. And when you are remembering Baba, somebody is going through a challenge, you tell them to remember Baba, because you always give the solution which you follow. Okay, so Baba says this way you will be able to do more seva. And then Baba says, Baba says, by remembering this much, you experience happiness. By forgetting it, you become anxious. And when you remember Baba and who you are going to become, and I will tell you one thing. So, if somebody is sitting idle, they will worry about the future, right? Because if you're not earning a good future, if you're not working for a future, then anxiety is natural. Yes, If somebody is not going to office, not earning, then obviously they will worry about where the salary will come from, is it not? Yes, and even if you tell them God will take care of it, they'll say, how will God take care? There's no money. So I'm not doing anything, I'm not going to get a salary. How will God take care? Similarly, if you are not doing spiritual seva, then maybe you don't worry about the money, but you will definitely worry about the future. You will worry about uncertainties. You will worry about things that you can't see or predict or comprehend beforehand because you are not doing enough for it. So whenever you are not doing enough for something, it brings on anxiety. And so Baba says that if you remember me, if you are doing seva, you will easily remember me and what you're going to become. So this power of good karma will free you from the anxiety of what is going to happen to me. Yes, and today, if somebody asks us what happens after the death, I say we go and become a deity. Why? Because we are doing the karma that makes us a deity tomorrow. So we have the confidence of it. We are not afraid to lose the body. We are not in the dark about where we'll go after losing the body. And this is a very subtle internal knowing. And it comes from seva. There is no other shortcut. So Baba is today very nicely, Baba has highlighted everything that seva does to you. And then Baba says, have a keen interest in doing seva, just as the father serves whilst being egoless. In the same way, keep yourself as busy as possible doing spiritual service to benefit others. And two things that Baba has pointed out is ego and attachment. So, ego tells you why me, and attachment tells you I will only do it for those who belong to me. So, if you want to invest your time, thought, energy, money into seva, then you have to give up this consciousness of I and mine. Yes, and I will tell you one thing. So, there are many children who tell me that, Didi, whenever there is, they have the option to contribute financially. They will say, okay, we don't want to take that option, but if there is a physical seva, call us. Okay, so they'll say, I'm interested to do seva physically. But do you know that when we call them, they are not even capable of physical seva. So, you are interested in doing seva according to yourself, but seva is done according to directions, according to the rules. Yes, now if there is seva all day and you are just willing to devote half an hour, yes, and then in that half an hour also you want to do it your way, then you will create more trouble than seva. Yes, so that seva is, and physical seva is very hard in the yajna. It's not easy. So, when Brahma Bhojan is prepared, it's prepared for 300, 400 people. And it's when people offer their physical seva, they think that it's about cooking a one course dish for one person. It's not like that. Physical seva is too much. And then people say we are interested in physical seva, but then have you created the capacity to do seva in the yajna? So, Baba talks about serviceability. Serviceability, the ability to do service. So you have a body, you have a mind, you have wealth. But ask yourself, is your body, your mind and wealth serviceable? Because have you created the skills and the physical endurance to do physical seva? Just the intention is not enough. If you have to clean a classroom, do you have the physical endurance to rub the walls and scrub the floor and clean the chairs? And so just saying I'm interested is not enough. Have you built the physical capacity? So that's important. And yes, and the bhavna is appreciated. But then in order to earn blessings, it's very practical. You don't, it's not some airy fairy idea. It's very practical. Physical seva is practical. You are either doing it or not doing it. You intend to do it, okay, intention is good, but then if it doesn't materialize, it doesn't mean anything. You want to do mansa seva, you are sitting for 1 hour, but your mind is wandering, you cannot concentrate. Have you done mansa seva or have you done the opposite of it? Yes, and then about dhan seva also, we have to check how much of it do we do. And since anxiety, fear, enthusiasm, everything are related to seva, remembrance is related to seva, we have to check practically how much of seva we are doing, because that determines what is the quality of our life and what is the quality of feeling for our future. And then Baba says, just as the Father serves whilst being egoless, in the same way keep yourself as busy as possible doing spiritual service to benefit others. And then Baba today says that, have you become egoless? And you have to surrender. So I remember that there is this brother, Atam Prakash Bhaiji is a very senior brother in the Yagya, and he was a chemistry lecturer when he came to the Yagya. And he got surrendered, he left the job and got surrendered. And then when he asked Dadiji what seva he had to do, Dadi said, you make tolis. So, small sweets, dry sweets, you make that in the yagya. So there is a toli department, so you take care of that. So now toli making is a physically strenuous work, yes, and then there is a lot of ghee and a lot of sugar, and then it gets very dirty, and then you have to clean the whole place, and there is a lot of physical enduring work there. So he said, I don't want to do that. He said, give me something intellectual, because I'm an educated fellow, so you could use me for something else. So Dadi said, no, that's your department. You go and make tolis. And what is it? You see, ego, I know better. Ego. And then he worked on his ego, and then today he has been doing that seva for so long. He's the department in charge of Toli department, and he understands today, and he was sharing his experience that why Baba made him do that, because it served two purposes. It made him learn what he didn't know, and then it made him egoless. So when we have to go to Satyog, we have to become egoless and attachment free. So wherever you think you know better, or this is not, you don't want to do this, you want to do that, the yagya makes you do what you don't like to do. And that's a very good thing to do. I tell you from my own experience, and it's a very good thing to just work in a surrendered way, and Baba makes you egoless and viceless. And attachment, my blood relations need me more. No. You think they need you more, but the whole world needs your seva. So focus on that. So Baba says, take out a part of whatever you have and whoever you are, and invest it in world seva. Don't think that your blood relations have a copyright over you and what you have. They don't. Everything you have belongs to Baba and belongs to all Baba's children. Don't let ego and attachment stop you from doing seva. Okay, Om Shanti.